15 years, my father and sister and I head to an island in Middle Saranac Lake in the Adirondacks and do a week of canoe camping all by our lonesome, and it's the best week of the year.
For 15 years, that is a long tradition. Awesome. And Young Shen Wang from Los Angeles, California, public defender, you have a very special tattoo, I believe, on your left arm. What is it?
Yes, it's a drinking poem by the Tang Dynasty poet Li Bai. He is kind of like that friend you hang out with at night that's really fun, but then after a while you're like, you're too much. He has such fun lines as rare dishes and treasure mean nothing to me. The great drinkers are remembered for all time. So I think about that every time I have a beer and want to just take a nap.
Do you drink with the hand with the tattoo on it?
Yeah, it's really fun in China when people see it, they're like, oh, I can toast to that.
Eleanor Dixon, a freelance technical editor, a returning champ from Vero Beach, Florida. Your favorite hobby is community theater. What's been your favorite role?
Well, after years of performing in musical theater, I had wanted to do a non-musical show and not want to do things halfway. My first play that I did was a one-woman show in which I played the iconic advice columnist Ann Landers. And the name of the play is The Lady with All the Answers. So on Friday, I was the lady with all the questions, and I hope to do that again today.
All right, well, let's get back to the game and see. Eleanor, your selection.
Orchestral instruments 600.
It's the low-end woodwind scene here that's held aslant on a sling when played. Andy.
What is the bassoon?
Yes.
Tunnels for 2.
On the high-speed trains, it takes about 35 minutes to go underwater between England and France via this. Young Shen.
Where's a channel?
Yes.
Tunnels for 4.
The Holland and Lincoln tunnels both run beneath this river to connect New York with New Jersey. Young Shen.
What is the Hudson?
That's right.
By George for 400.
After George III died, his son, who held this title reserved for the heir apparent, took the throne as George IV. Eleanor.
What is the Duke of Wellington?
No. Young Shen.
What is the Prince of Wales?
That's right.
By George for 600.
This governor, who led the South's fight against integration, died in Montgomery in 1998. Andy.
Who is George Wallace?
Yes.
By George for 1,000.
On June 23, 1937, this American composer complained of headaches, and an LA hospital diagnosed hysteria. On July 11th, he died. Young Shen.
Was George Gershwin?
Yes.
Tunnels for 600.
In 2019, Egypt inaugurated 4 new tunnels beneath this artificial waterway. Young Shen.
What is the Suez Canal?
That's it.
Tunnels for 800.
A busy border crossing between the U.S. and Canada is the tunnel linking Detroit with this city in Ontario. Eleanor.
What is Toronto?
No. That city is Windsor. Young Shen.
Tunnels for 1,000.
Japan's Seikan Tunnel beneath the Tsugaru Strait links Hokkaido with this main island. Eleanor.
What is Honshu?
That's right.
Silent consonant words 200.
A prominent rounded hill or a rounded control switch or dial. Andy.
What is a nub?
No. Correct response, knob. Eleanor.
Orchestral instruments 800.
A quartet played these national brass instruments on Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Eleanor.
What are French horns?
Yes.
1,000 instruments.
As a visual aid, all the C's are red and the F's are black on the many strings of a standard type of this instrument. Eleanor.
What is a harp?
Yes.
Silent consonant 6.
Jesus had 12 of these special disciples, from the Greek for messenger. Eleanor.
What are apostles?
Yes.
800.
To bite or chew persistently like an animal with a bone. Andy.
What is gnaw?
Yes, and here's the final clue. This 6-letter synonym for self-assurance comes from the French. We hope you respond to the clue with it. Young Shen.
Was aplomb?
Yes. That'll take you to 6,600. Andy, you have 4,400. And Eleanor, our returning champ, you have 2,600. It's time for Double Jeopardy, and you'll be selecting first right after this.